Yo, what's up guys? My name is GLOCO and welcome back to more Katawa Shoujo. We are now at part 16 guys, so we've been here for several days already in Shizune's house. So here we go. I've been neglecting my sign language studies, so I shall probably spend some time studying up on it. Although, I think I've learned a lot just by osmosis. I'm very proud of that, and will have to be careful not to brag about it. Most of the books I brought with me aren't manuals on learning sign language, but studies about different signing dialects. I know Shizune has some secret signals with Misha that only the two of them know the meaning of. After seeing a couple of them, this book caught my eye in the school library. Maybe I should incorporate some examples into my own signing to mess with them, because I'm pretty sure that they have started using their code words more when I started learning sign language. That will teach them. After a quick break for a shower, I resumed practicing my signing in the guest room mirror. Yesterday, I crashed my fingers against each other pretty hard. It still smarts, and I don't want a repeat of that to happen again. Oh, what the hell do you want, Hideki? I hear knocking on the door behind me and turn to find Hideki standing inside the doorway staring at me. How polite of him to knock, but usually you don't open the door first. What are you doing? I'm practicing sign language. How long have you been standing there? Well, I did not see anything. That isn't the point. I don't even know what he means by that. What the fuck? It's not like I was doing something that I would be ashamed to have people see me doing. Like fapping. Although sign language must look strange to most people, I'm only used to it from being around Shizune and Misha so much. I am brushing up on my sign language and reading about it too. Well, stuff like the history of it, even though they cover it in sign language class. Your school teaches sign language as a class? Yeah, one of the first things they brought up was that it's not very common to do that. Well, I guess we're very international or something. It looks fun. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. If you do not enjoy this, it seems like a lot of work to go through just to talk to my sister. Why does everyone keep saying that? Hideki's mouth twitches like he was about to laugh, but but he restrains himself. Come to think of it, he hasn't laughed once since I've met him. I could take it as a compliment that he doesn't laugh at me, but I'm curious to see it. Laugh. Why? It was the fastest and most direct way I could think of towards accomplishing my goal. Can you teach me sign language? He says it plainly, but his body language is nervous, showing that he clearly needs to put some effort in to ask. I guess Hideki likes his sister after all. I think Misha is a lot more approachable though, so I wonder why he didn't ask her. Secretly, I'm shouting yes inside. I had thought he wanted to learn sign language and even brought it up, but he had evaded the subject skillfully. It turns out I was right after all. I don't really know why this makes me so pleased. Oh, sure! But now that I think about it, I'm not a sign language teacher. I don't even know where to start. In class, I'd be learning stuff gradually over a week. Does Hideki expect me to teach him anything usable in a one-day crash course? Maybe I love you? One-san, Oni-chan, One-chan, whatever. My teacher spent a couple days just giving a history of sign language. I decided to start off with that, to buy some time while I figure out how I can segue it into the hard stuff. 5 minutes in, Hideki raises his hand. I don't understand what you are doing. Oh, well, you can't just jump into teaching, you know. You have to ease into it. It's like when you go swimming, you don't just jump in the lake like in some movie. Well, I do not swim. It's beyond the point, Hideki. It's like scientists managed to create a process to suck out all the hyperactive, infuriating, and childish qualities of a small child and then implant them into the dad, creating a raging jerk dad and leaving behind Hideki. That's a bizarre way of putting that, Hisao. Well, I begin to feel claustrophobic despite the fact that the guest room is 3 times bigger than my dorm room, and there's just the 2 of us in here. Well, it's all in my head, I know it, and I don't care. I still use it as an excuse to move the lesson outside. They have a very nice garden! It's a lot easier to concentrate out here. Even the precious few seconds it took to relocate managed to allow me to sort my thoughts. There were no questions during this time. Hideki can't seem to talk and walk at the same time. Eventually, however, I start to realize that if I'm going to teach him anything, I have to keep the lesson constantly moving. The second there's an opening for it, he'll ask a question, which will lead to more questions. Then, there's no end to it. The second time he asked me why a certain hand motion means what it does, and I have to reach deep into my memory to look for etymology. I don't know about the gesture I only knew about a month longer than him. I start looking for an out. Hideki, let's take a break. Okay. What is your school like? Well, this kid is like a little reporter, but it makes sense for someone his age to be curious, and this is one question I don't mind. So, what's it like? Well, I never really thought about it. It's on the top of this mountain, so it feels kind of isolated and lonely up there sometimes, even though that's also why it has a pretty great view. The students there are interesting. Actually, I felt bad at first. You know what kind of school it is, right? Yes. I felt bad because I didn't want to go there. I don't even remember exactly what I was thinking at that time. Probably it was something like a school for crippled people would be a depressing place. And they were telling me to go before gotten there. Then everything there was just living their lives for the most part, so I felt even worse. It wasn't different at all, so I felt like kind of a jerk. Shizune was the first person I met. She's in most of my classes, Misha too. They're always together. I guess the school is accommodating enough to pair them up as much as possible. There's this girl in my class, Hanako, who I feel bad for. She has these burns and seems to have a complex about them, but I think she looks fine. Yeah, she's a cute girl. And friends with Lily too. You know Lily, right? Does she bring up Hanako? Yes, sometimes. I'm trying to remember who else is interesting. Well, we have a little track star ace who runs on these prosthetics. There's this one girl, Rin, who doesn't have arms, but she's a great painter. All her art has this harsh, alive quality. Have you ever been to Yamaku? You've probably seen some of it hanging around. A little weird sometimes, but I've always heard that artistic and creative types are like that. That reminds me, the guy who lives across the hall from me is pretty weird too, but he can be interesting at least. Yeah, I even remember Kenji. You are also interesting. Is that bad? And what's with that tone? What does that even mean? Are you saying I am weird, Hideki? You talk a lot. My first instinct is to go on the defensive, but the more I think about it, he has a point. That's right, I do talk a lot, and I don't think I used to. I think it's probably because of all the time I spend around Shizune and Misha. Talking with them, I get caught up in all their circular logic and just how they do everything. I feel like I'm going to be drowned out or left behind. My sister can drown you out? It's not like she's literally taking over me and stuff, obviously. It's hard to explain. They have more energy than I do. It's like an aggressiveness. I don't feel like I have to match it, but I want to. I think maybe your sister has that effect on people. Do you look up to Do you look up to your sister? He stares at me blankly, tense and confused as to how to react to the question. I will be better than Shizune, date ba yo? Better at what? At everything. Like what? I can do magic tricks. You mean like telling people you've got their nose, or more like the kind of magic when you're pulling a rabbit out of your ass? He doesn't look happy. Someday I will see Hideki laugh. I must just try tickling him if I have to. Oh god, what the hell? Whoa! The back door flies open and Jigoro strides out of it, keeping his back straight and taking giant, slow, regal strides like either a king or a huge jackass. I try to turn away using the train of logic that if I can't see him, he can't see me. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out and he comes over so fast. It's like he appeared out of the air over my shoulder. Oh, what's up here? What are you two doing? Flailing your hands around, playing cat's cradle like a bunch of girls? I'm teaching Hideki some sign language. What about you, Mr. Hakamichi? He narrows his eyes suspiciously, as if he's not used to people being polite to him. Well, I am writing an autobiography of my life and times. And by writing, I mean I'm dictating it to my biographer. Unfortunately, she is running late. Unprofessional. Perhaps you should read it when it's published later this year. I can put you on the waiting list. Maybe it will give you the moral compass you seem to lack in your life and inspire you to stop sucking. It can't be sustainable for him to be so casually insulting to everyone. Though Hideki is slightly too detached to even notice. Shizune is deaf and most of the insults must fly over Misha's head. But surely Akira must have an opinion on this. I try not to think about it. If he is doing this to psych me out, then I have to stay calm or he wins. He must absolutely definitely not win. This must be how Shizune feels. Oh, how old are you? 46? That doesn't seem old enough to justify writing a biography. Well, I mean, that's not even old. Don't most people start writing their memoirs a lot later than that? Shut up, boy! I'm going to give you advice. Do not talk about matters of age with people older than you. You are less than half my age. You have no right to talk about old. I have an ulcer older than you. You should get that checked out. He might have a point though. He is definitely older than I am. Obviously, Hisao. Either way, even if we were the same age, I wouldn't have to explain myself to you, sweater vest. Ugh. Why do you make that noise? Are you mad? Well, obviously. Good. Your sweater is terrible, and I want you to feel bad about it. The burn tells me it's working. I like my sweater. I'm sure you like huffing glue too. That doesn't make it right. I don't huff glue. Where did you get the impression I do? That is slander. I wonder how Hideki knows what slander is. Maybe Jigoro is a lawyer. I can sort of see that, although I thought only TV lawyers were this antagonistic. I don't know if I should take the chance and ask if that's his job. He's right, it is slander. He's right, it is slander. Are you a lawyer? I was guessing. A guess based on the fact that you are stupid. It's like how you are assuming I am a lawyer, except you have no reason to think that. If you want to know what I do so badly, why don't you pre-order my autobiography? Now you are insulting my book and by extension, my entire life! What gives you the right to do that? Arrogant. I'm trying to think of how I could make you understand my struggle, maybe by beating you with my autobiography. I hope you walk away from the beating, having learned a valuable lesson, like making assumptions. That is assault. But he made an assumption too, that I huffed glue. I considered calling him out on this glaring example of hypocrisy, but I don't think it's worth it. He will probably explain his way out of it by saying, "Shut up, boy!" God, but man, Jigoro's voice is how hard. Well, back in my day, children were seen and not heard, and to be an adult meant having experienced many hardships. With even a glance, people could instantly judge a man's character. Children existed only to temper you for adulthood. When you look at me, can you not see the catalog of my experiences, even at a glance? Well, maybe... were you a sword fighter? Well, he could also be Hawaiian and a werewolf. Wait, didn't you tell me before not to make stupid assumptions? Now you just asked me to assume stuff, and you're saying everyone when you were my age did it? And that had to be in like the 80s? That wasn't even that long ago. Well, I'm ready to give him a piece of my mind for talking like he had to walk 15 miles in the snow to ride a coal train. That he had to shovel coal into himself before climbing up a mountain while fighting ogres to get to school. But now that I finally want to fight, Jigoro is happy to have a good thing going, just continuing to ramble about how difficult it was growing up one generation ago, twirling his sword like a baton and stopping occasionally to yawn or check the time. The tardiness of his autobiographer is still foremost in his mind. That means the whole time he's been insulting me, he must have been doing it just to pass the time, to add insult to insult. His watch is also really nice. Why are we even noticing that? When I was your age, kids had responsibilities, not like today. Sickening. No one thinks about the consequences of their actions anymore. They just do whatever they want, thinking no one will hold them accountable since they are young. It's odd. The description could fit Shizune and Misha. I thought something similar only yesterday, but it only fits them slightly. Look at yourself, an immoral, directionless delinquent glue huffer with a complete lack of etiquette and absolute no fashion sense. You are tomorrow's Japan. Disgraceful. Is this the future of this once great country? Oh god, guys. Oh, my throat is about to die. I know someone you will get along with. Don't interrupt. Who? One of your friends? Why would I want to talk to some awful teenager? Have you ever even been listening? Why are you so rude, boy? Your attitude is not one that will make you a lot of friends. I wish he would stop giving me so much advice. Or at least I wish he would give me advice that he would have the decency to adhere to himself. Oh, where have you been? Uh-huh. Not you, idiot. Oh, hello, Shizune. Oops, I didn't notice you there. Shizune smiles and gives a short wave. Her arrival made Jigoro stop talking, so I'm already happy to see her for that reason alone. Misha and I decided to go into town again, Hisao. I noticed you were looking at some clothes yesterday in a store window, and I thought I would go back and buy some of them for you. It was supposed to be a surprise though. Aww, so our waifu is buying the clothes for us. Oh, she looks annoyed that the surprise is ruined, even though she ruined it herself. Here you go. Oh, thanks. Misha wanted to cut her hair. I told her not to, but she said it was too hot for the sun. What? She cut her drills? But why? Oh god! Yeah, I don't know. That makes a lot of sense to me. It must be like an oven under there. I want to see it. Where is Misha anyway? Over here, He-chan! Hi, He-chan! Hi, Mr. She-chan's father! Hi, Hideki! Whoa! Whoa, that is too short! That is... I actually like it. I like it, guys. Misha runs around us once in a wide circle before stopping next to Shizune. For the first time, she hasn't put her hands over my eyes, although now I see she has a bags of her own to carry, so it's not like she could have even if she wanted to, although I'm positive she tried before. Her meticulously styled curls are gone now, in favor of a much shorter, sportier look. Misha looks even happier than usual, probably because she knows she won't have to wake up at the crack of dawn every morning just to do her hair. She looks actually very cute. What is that haircut? You look like an intern. Your old haircut merely made you look like you were wearing a pink judge wig. Judge to intern is a huge demotion. What the fudge, dude? Hisao, is he saying something insulting? Tell him not to insult my friends. Don't insult my friends. Which one of you is talking? Both of us, I agree with her.
Hey, what do you think, Hee-chan?
You should have kept it like it was.
Aw, Hee-chan, you look disappointed. You don't like it either?
Well, yeah, I'll admit, I kind of like your old haircut more, but I think this one is nice too, it suits you. I don't know, guys, I have a fetish for very short hair, so just like Shizune, so I am kinda digging the new hair, guys.
Aw, thanks, Hee-chan.
Touching, if you like it so much, maybe you two should trade. Ah, I don't mind, Drills. You can't trade a haircut, you asshole. Sorry, this guy is such a jerk. What a shame, even her old haircut would suit you so much more than your current slacker haircut. Awful, as for you. Actually, this is much less garish than your other haircut. I like it.
Yeah, really? Thanks, Mr. Shizune's dad.
It's Mr. Hakamichi, talk like a normal person.
I don't understand. Okay, I'll call you Mr. Hakamichi.
I wonder her to call him
Hakamichi-chan.
Oh, it's like speaking to a slide whistle. Contemptible. Where's my biographer? Hideki! He starts quietly muttering to himself and walks off. I guess a wannabe cranky old man like Jigoro would at the very least be hesitant to yell at girls. Suddenly he doubles back, unable to resist his urge to have the last word. And another thing, you do not have to be so loud. I do not like being shouted out. Shouted at.
What? Shouting? I'm not shouting!
I can't think of anything more unqualified to talk about what garish or to chastise someone else on shouting at people. It's like a parade of hypocrisies and the hits just keep coming. An unusual reaction seems to be taking place. Misha apparently finds Jigoro funny and laughs pretty much every time he says something, which only makes him berate her harder. I guess this is what they call a vicious circle. Misha's voice is punctuated with explosions of her laughter and seems to come from everywhere. On the other hand, Jigoro's is booming and directed like a cannon. In any case, they are both unbelievably loud. The more they talk to each other, the more they seem to play off each other's volume and get louder.
Ow, my ears hurt!
Why are you shouting? Shizune's hands wrap around my eyes from behind. Something I'm so used to Misha doing that for the first time, I find myself confused by it since Misha is in front of me. She lets go and holds a finger up to her lips. What a perfect distraction, now's our opportunity, let's sneak off. Why do we have to sneak off? Why not just walk off? It wouldn't be as fun. It's decided, it's a secret mission. Escape without being detected. Extract Hideki for bonus points. Already she has simplified the situation into a game. Shizune quietly slides away from the scene and begins edging toward the house. I walk towards it normally. I can't find Shizune at first, but eventually she walks into the main part of the house, sipping a glass of iced water and dangling her glasses back and forth from her free hand. She whips them on as soon as she sees them. You didn't rescue Hideki. That means you don't get the bonus points. If you were also being graded on style, I'd have to deduct points for a boring escape. Well, it looked like you wanted to talk to me. I didn't know I had to be stylish about it. You know, some say that the most stylish people are the ones that don't try too hard to look cool. Well, you're really cool. What kind of expression is that? I wonder how is it that I can pick up on her sarcasm so easily, and how hard it might have been for her to learn the concept of sarcasm without being able to hear. I can't imagine it. You seem like you're in a good mood. Although I guess it isn't really a good mood, but it's more than she seems very excited. I'm in a bad mood. Setting her drink down, Shizune sits down on the couch. I liked her regular hairstyle so much more. It looks so pretty. It was refined and meticulous. Now she looks too sporty and tomboyish. Well, I like it, Shizune-chan. I wouldn't call Misha refined and meticulous in the first place. That sounds more like you. You should give it a chance. Grow your hair out and make it look like drills. I can't imagine Shizune-chan having the same hairstyle. Actually, maybe this suits you just fine. Shizune rubs the frame of her glasses roughly, looking annoyed at the implications behind what I just signed to her. That's fine, because I was totally implying that. She moves a little closer to me when I take a seat. I'm a tomboy? Well, no one would call you a tomboy based on appearances. Shizune glares at me, unamused. I have to fight to keep a straight face. Maybe you two should trade haircuts anyway. You sound like my father. It's true, Shizune giggles noisily when she sees my displeasure at the realization. Jumping to her feet, she twirls an invisible sword in her left hand while standing up militarily straight and grimacing. A terrifyingly accurate impression. Anyway, I don't take advice from anyone who wears a blue sweater with brown pants. Where's your sense of color coordination? Dreadful. Oh god, you're starting to sound like your father, Shizune-chan, no. But changing my haircut, that might be fun. Wouldn't be? I want to see how everyone will react. You must really like playing with people, huh? Sometimes I think a little too much. No answer. The way she fiddles with her glasses, brow furrowed, tells me that it's because she can't. Well, it's fun. Then, with more confidence and while pulling herself closer to me, it's fun to drag more and more people into my life. Oh, I see. I wonder if I'm included in that number. I want to ask, but I'm not even sure how I would. You're his freaking boyfriend! What the hell, dude? Shizune wags a finger preemptively, indicating that she won't be answering such a question anyway. Okay. She reaches for her glass, but doesn't seem to realize how far she's managed to inch away from it all this time. To prevent herself from tipping over clumsily, Shizune tries to grab onto me and ends up pulling me on top of her. Oh god, this is going to be awkward. Oh my god, typical anime scene. Let's see. Prepare yourselves, guys. What kind of development is this? Oh god, you can't just go on to that with... Oh god, you can't build me up like this. As I lean over her, I can feel the heat coming off her body and realize how close we are. I can hear her soft breathing and the slight rustling of her clothes as she momentarily fidgets about. Oh. A blush starts to creep into her cheeks, but her eyes stare straight into mine, dark and unblinking. It's the same look from the first time I saw her, piercing and devoid of any clear emotions. Just waiting to see what will happen next, like the eyes of a cat. It makes me feel uncomfortable being looked at in such a way. This is the first time I've been so close to her for an extended period of time, and the mood is different now. The situation now isn't the same as passing touching of hands or her and Misha's usual games. Shizune's fingers weave together tentatively, but she makes no move to sign. The look in her eyes isn't just nothing, like I thought. It's more like expectation. I wonder if maybe I've been following the string of her expectations this entire time. I feel her grabbing me by the shoulders and then gently but firmly pushing me off of her. I roll sideways onto the soft couch and pull myself into a sitting position less than a foot from her. The way I feel, she might as well have thrown me 10 yards. When I think about it, this is perhaps one of the biggest drawbacks to sign language. Shizune said that the fact that you have to sign your words out with your hands means you have time to reflect on what you say before you say it. But on the other hand, it also means that what would normally just be an awkward silence becomes an insurmountable wall. I just blurt out something, anything, to try and dispel the tension I'm feeling right now if I couldn't, but I can't. Ordinarily, I think that what would be normal would be to apologize and maybe leave, but right now, I wonder if that's even applicable. I can't get past how guilty such an action would seem, like I were just slinking away. Of course, it's not like I can just play it off like nothing happened either. That would just be insulting to both of us. So as much as I don't want to, I apologize quickly, so quickly I forget to sign it. Then I go back to my room. Okay, it's cute. Oh god, are you just gonna... Sighing, I let myself fall backwards into bed. I wish I could just go to sleep right now, but I feel wide awake. Oh god, why are you in my room? Oh god. I sit up when I hear the door closing and open my eyes to see Shizune sitting in the chair in front of me. She asks a question that goes right over my head due to my surprise. It's not a feeling I'm good at concealing, and I don't think it's what she intended. Whatever she was saying, she backs off and doesn't attempt to sign again for a while. This is the first time I've been in your room. Oh god! Don't tell me you're gonna... Shizune tenses her fingers and puts on an exaggerated attempt to make herself look embarrassed and modest at the thought. I can't appreciate the joke, just the fact that she's here has me feeling a bit scattered. Very funny. It isn't even my room, it's your guest room. Besides, you and Misha barged into my room once before. It seems as if she expects me to say more. I remember feeling very panicked when they burst into my room, afraid of what conclusions they will jump to seeing the wall of pills lining the place. I don't think that Shizune remembers though. It made you nervous. The way she says it so factually stings me. Well, a lot of things make me nervous. You're one of them. Because you're overeager to always get people involved in whatever you're doing. Whether it's joining the student council or even taking a break. Whether they want to or not. She signs almost at a crawl, her hands pausing mid-sentence far too much, causing the words to dissipate formlessly before I can even begin to try to understand them. I try not to let on that this is a case. It seems to work, but she looks a little sad, and I regret that I have nothing to say to snap her from the strangely wistful and distant expression she is wearing. All I can do is wait for her to come out of it. You are right, I want to drag everyone into my life. What's with that expression? But lately I'm no longer sure if it's the right thing to do. Well, I enjoyed you taking me to your favorite restaurant the other night. It's not like that was my favorite restaurant. I have others I like. I might even be able to rank them my number. Really? This chair is so hard. I want to sit on the bed. Oh god! No! No, don't let her in the bed! This is gonna end differently, guys. Oh god. Motioning to her to go ahead, I wait for her to get off the chair and take her place. And when she does though, I didn't intend for it to be. She finds it amusing. Close your... Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What is gonna... why? It's a surprise. Oh god, what kind of surprise are you gonna... No, please don't do this. I'm not ready! I'm not ready, guys! They are in the bed. They're alone in a room. What are we expecting, guys? Are you guys ready? Here we go! She's gonna kiss us. I decide to humor her and close them. I can feel her leaning over me, and suddenly something soft and moist touches my lips. My body tenses up in surprise. Fortunately, not as awkward a reaction as I could have made. It was just a quick peck, and I almost think that's the end of it, but then she kisses me again. More deeply this time. Her hands slide onto my shoulders, up to my neck, and then back down again, then across my shoulders and down my arms. I can feel the weight of her body on my legs, and the eroticism of the situation isn't lost on me. At this point, I'm ready to try and open my eyes just a crack, but as if expecting it, she puts her fingers on my eyelids. Seconds later, something ties my hands together at the wrist, and I panic. Not knowing what to make of this, my first thought is to ask Shizune what she's thinking. Even though she can't hear me, I'm sure she gets the gist of it. She won't let go of my hands, tracing her fingers over them from the lines of my palms, over my knuckles, and to my wrists. Oh, hey, what are you doing? What is this? Oh god, this is some kinky shit! This is some kinky shit! This is some, oh god! Oh no, do not do this, guys, I'm not ready! Oh god, this is Neko Power all over again! Oh god, shit! This is, oh god, Shizune! I didn't know Shizune was into this kinky shit! Just tying us up in a freaking chair and, oh god, alright guys, let's keep calm. Let's keep calm, guys. We're doing this! We are doing this! Okay. Of course, with my hands tied behind my back, I might as well be gagged. A part of me can't help but think that this is what she intended. As if reading my thoughts, a mischievous expression lights up her face. Oh my god! But her blushing doesn't fade. In fact, it only deepens when our eyes meet. Embarrassed, she leans deeper into our partial embrace, hiding her face by burying it in my shoulder and neck. Her hair is soft and tickles me, and I let out a laugh knowing that she won't hear me, won't be offended. Shizune's hands move downward to the fly of my pants, covered by her skirt. Her hands disappear from view, only to jerk back on touching my erection. Shizune almost falls off me from nervousness. It's like she didn't expect it to be there. It's like, oh, yeah. This sudden display of naivety is the starkest contrast yet to how forward she has been so far, and I find it amusing. Suddenly, she seems very immature again. A high school girl playing the role of a more aggressive woman? This is some 50 Shades of Grey shit! She pokes at my penis curiously with her index finger, her face reddening as she runs the rest of her fingers down its underside. Her movements are soft and curious, and they belie the embarrassed look on her face. It's likely Shizune is as nervous as I am, so I'm a bit relieved when she stops her exploratory prodding. But then I think about what's next to come. She might try and unbutton my shirt. Who knows what she would say, seeing the scar on my chest. I'm still self-conscious about it, and I can imagine the concern on her face on seeing it. The tensing of her fingers in thought. Luckily, in this position, she couldn't take off my sweater without ripping it off me. The fear fades from my mind. Now I'm only experiencing a strange, uncomfortable mix of anticipation and nervousness. A newfound lightness on my knees bring me back to reality, and I can see Shizune standing on the tips of her toes to slide her underwear down her thighs. When she sees me looking at her, she tries to cover my eyes with one hand. I wonder exactly when it was that I started being attracted to her. Not just attracted to her physically, but drawn to her. And I wonder why. She's pretty, but then also very combative. Not just that, but she seems not to like being that way. The way she's acting now, however, and at other times, doesn't really fit that image, and I'm starting to think that maybe her tying my hands might have been for more reasons than just the moods, than just the most obvious. Still, that aggressiveness that she flashes around as comfortably as a business card is real, and I don't know whether or not that kind of attitude could be considered dangerous. Well, if it is, I wonder what kind of person that makes me. It was probably the first week I was here. A week doesn't sound so long when I think about it, but at the time it did, even though I pretty much thought my days were numbered that week. It still seemed to go by so slowly. Even if you can't hear me, it puts me at ease. I started to realize that I didn't have that much to complain about, but there's still... well, never mind. She glances at me for no reason other than that I'm talking, because she can't understand what I'm saying. Shizune becomes increasingly flustered, but doesn't sign anything in reply. Shizune sucks in her breath sharply as she lowers herself onto my penis, trying to keep herself upright as she teeters on top of me. The skirt of her dress covers both of our intimate parts and traps our body heat under it like a tent. Under it, it feels unbearably hot, and Shizune's hand guiding me into her only adds to it. The second that I penetrate her, Shizune winces, then nearly falls on top of me. The sudden sensation is mind-numbing, and I feel waves of pleasure radiate through me from both ends of my body. Dude, this should not be good for your heart, man! It feels as if my entire lower body is enveloped in the warmth and wetness of Shizune's body, able to feel her every twitch and shudder as she starts moving. Shizune begins rocking her hips back and forth, at first slowly but with her tempo increasing each time. She pulls herself almost completely off me, only to plunge back down at the last second. Being so close to her, I can see the sweat beading on her skin and the fog that forms on her glasses when they slide down her nose and too close to her mouth before she pushes them back up. Her fingertips presses into my shoulders, holding onto them to steady herself, pushing against them to pull herself off of me, and then running down my arms and grasping off for my wrists and hands as she pushes herself back down. Maneuvering around like this is difficult at best. Shizune tries to brace herself against me while pushing herself up and down with her feet. I attempt to kiss her, but only manage to succeed in touching our foreheads together, at least not painfully. My thoughts wander briefly to whether or not the door is locked. If it were to open now, I'd probably have a heart attack, literally, and then there's the question of who will be opening the door. The sense of danger only serves to make Shizune's movements more torturous, and I wish she would speed up, but from this position, it may not even be possible. I start moving my hips upwards in rhythm with her, trying to drive myself deeper into her. It doesn't matter to me that my movements are shaking the chair we're on, creating a loud knock as the wooden chair raps against the wooden floor. Her breathing grows louder and even sounds like suppressed moans escape her throat. Though it's obvious that she wants to hold them in, they're still loud enough that they will be audible to anyone standing outside the door. I stop thrusting into Shizune, partly because it's harder to keep up with her as she starts getting more and more into it and moving faster than I can manage to match while under her. Oh god, my heart races so quickly that I can almost hear the blood pounding in my temples, and more worryingly, I can feel a dull throb in my chest. I stop thinking about the pressure and I feel between my thighs, if only for a moment. That moment, though, is enough. Combined with the tightness of her squeezing herself around me and the sensation of her skin rubbing against me, I tense up and fire off inside Shizune. A fleeting feeling of power and flight. Oh god, we came into her. Afterwards, I listen to the sound of my heartbeat slowing down until it reaches its normal rhythm. I listen to the sound of Shizune's breathing as it does the same. Her glasses are slightly askew, and this is the first time she isn't messing around with them in some way. I want to straighten them for her, but the second I try, I am reminded that I can't. Shizune seems to have forgotten it as well. Instead of getting up, she presses herself against me in the chair to extend her reach. It's almost as if this is the only position she can think to untie my hands from. That is what I think as I feel her unbinding my wrists. However, she doesn't get off me. Her fingers gently stroke against mine, occasionally bending inwards to run over my palms. It's funny, but I feel more connected to Shizune through this simple act than before. Shizune stays pressed against me like this for some time. It's a little uncomfortable, but it makes me feel very happy, as if I could stay like this for hours. How did we even build up to this? She just goes into the room, and then she starts binding us and... Oh god! Shizune-chan! Oh, you kinky little girl. Oh my god! I just can't, guys, I just can't, like, I can't, oh god, what? I didn't expect us to build up to something like that right away. God, anyway, guys, I hope you guys were happy. You know, got some kinky action, ecchi action with them. Yeah, at least we didn't see anything bad for YouTube. But anyway, guys, I am gonna end this episode here. I have had enough. Can't get over it, guys. God. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and favorite it. If you want more videos, do check out my channel for more and subscribe. I'll see you guys again in my next videos. Goodbye. Do not sneak up on me here. Oh, okay, Bonnie's here. Everyone's in here. I can't even. Hello? Fucking Chica got us.